now joining us, we have Bill and Mitzi, and they are from the Orchard at Altapass. Thank you guys so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having us.
A pleasure.
Absolutely. Now, we have lots of things to talk about with you guys, but we're going to start talking a little bit about a fundraiser that's actually going to be going on tomorrow on Saturday, correct?
That's right. We are actually, spring has sprung at the Orchard. You know, we're open May to October, but we're actually having a special benefit tomorrow night for the Orchard, and it's the Little Roy and Lizzie show, and that's a bluegrass performance with Little Roy Lewis, and I know a lot of people here know who I'm talking about. He was a baby of the Lewis family from the 1960s always to now, and two of his band members live in Spruce Pine area, so they wanted to do something to help conserve the music and the heritage, and that's part of our mission. So they're bringing the Little Roy and Lizzie show to the Orchard at Altapass tomorrow night at 6:30, and it's a free bluegrass show. We just are taking donations that benefit the Orchard. We are a nonprofit, and we have lots of school groups and lots of music from Wednesdays to Saturdays, and it helps pay the musicians, so we're excited to have them with us.
And we've got a big dance floor just
Yes.
ready and waiting for the people to come and carry on the dance floor.
That's right.
Sounds like the perfect way to spend a Saturday evening on this holiday weekend.
It does. We have a whole big day planned tomorrow. Actually, we don't open until May 3rd, but tomorrow seems to be a big spring kickoff day for us. So.
Yes, indeed. We have the Civil Air Patrol is going to be doing an exercise in the morning.
Okay.
And they're going to haul the mock bodies out and get out of the way for the spring walk that we have planned, a blossom walk among whatever blossoms might be left after this freeze that we've had. That's really hard on our apple growers. And then, of course, in late afternoon, we're going to have the gathering for the Little Roy and Lizzie show.
That's right.
We actually open May 3rd.
Okay.
And then from May 3rd, we'll be open 5 days a week, every day except Monday and Tuesday. We'll also have music every one of those days, always during the daytime, always free. So people are welcome to come and enjoy the music year-round. But we're really excited about this year for another reason. Finally, all the land around the Orchard has been donated to the Altapass Foundation. And we are taking that land and working with the Conservation Trust for North Carolina to put it all under a permanent conservation easement. So this nearly 2-mile stretch along the Blue Ridge that is the Orchard and is unspoiled and beautiful scenery will now fit into the other pieces that the Conservation Trust has preserved, and Altapass will remain beautiful forever.
That's wonderful. Now talk with us a little bit about the process of kind of making all of this happen and how this comes about.
Well, Sister bought the land 20 years ago to make sure it would never be developed. And the Orchard got started in 1908.
Wow.
And is the longest continually operating orchard, at least in western North Carolina, we believe, and certainly along the Blue Ridge. We're right on the Blue Ridge Parkway. And so we bought it to make sure it wouldn't be developed, and then my sister and I and my wife Judy asked each other the awful question, how hard can it be to keep growing apples? And now we know why he was selling it so cheap.
Now you know the answer.
But then we set up the nonprofit because we wanted to do other things besides just apples, and in particular to preserve the history, heritage, and culture of the area around Altapass, but really the southern Blue Ridge. And that has become our mission. And now we're going to be able not only to do the mission there at the Orchard in perpetuity, but also the land will never be developed.
That's
Wonderful.
fantastic.
To be sustained.
It's hard to find a piece of land that's not developed anymore, so this would be a very nice thing.
That's
for you
right. It
guys.
would have been a tragedy to see this land disappear into houses or condominiums or worse.
Yes.
We actually have 10 Blue Ridge walking trails on the land, and it's a beautiful place to come and just stroll anytime. And we are an educational facility. We have about 300 school kids visit every year to the facility for our education classes, and of course our history hay rides. That's always a fun thing.
Yeah, we get
Lots
to
going
tell
on.
a lot of stories about
Yeah.
the history of the particular place that we are. It has been the most active place along the Blue Ridge, according to Harley Jolly, a historian. And the reason is because of its geography. There's a good river on one side that goes east, and a good river on the other side that goes west, and the low gap in the Continental Divide in between. We found a spear point near there that dates back 10,000 years.
Wow.
That place has been used as a passage across the mountains since there have been people on the continent.
Very
And it is a very interesting place.
Awesome. Yeah, tell us a little bit about when you get to the orchard, what kinds of things do you do there, and what is the experience like for any of our viewers who may have never stopped by?
Good, yes. Well, you come to the orchard and come on a weekend and bring your dancing shoes, and you'll be invited to go up and dance to whoever is playing. The music is not a performance or a concert, but it is something that involves all the audience all the time, that people are active on the dance floor. We have a butterfly garden. We are a monarch butterfly preserve, and we tag monarchs in the fall, and 6 that we've tagged have been recovered in Mexico, where the monarchs migrate. We have hay rides that tell the stories, the history of the orchard. The storytelling is not the traditional Jack Tales sort of a thing, but it talks about the history of that particular place. And for example, the Over Mountain men came through there on the way to fight the British at Kings Mountain in 1780 in the battle that Thomas Jefferson said changed the course of the Revolutionary War.
Wow.
So in the course of learning that story, which I tell on the hay rides, I found I was interested in the way the battle ended when a 62-year-old man named Robert Young shot the British commander Ferguson with the rifle he called the same nickname he called his wife.
Okay.
Sweet Lips.
All right.
How funny.
It's a good name for a rifle.
And I told that story to an aunt of mine shortly before she died, and she said, "Lawsy, child, don't you know? You're telling a story about your own great-great-great-great-great-grandfather."
Wow.
Neat.
So we found the virtual footprints of my own 5th great-grandfather in that orchard property that we bought just on the spur of the moment to make sure it would never be
amazing.
developed.
And we also are starting something new this year. The last Thursday night of each month, we're having a Historical Thursday, and actually we just signed on Peggy Post Stern. She'll be there to talk about the ghosts of Mitchell County, and several other great things going on the last Thursday night at 7 o'clock at the orchard.
And we have a program called Super Saturdays, and every Saturday between now and when school starts again,
Yeah.
for kids 6 to 12, we have activity, a heritage activity going on. For example, last year we had a lady bring in her goats, and there was goat milking, and that was one of the.
And they made soap.
And they made soap
goat
out of
milk.
the goat that they milk that they collected.
Wow. Very cool.
So we're on the internet, of course, altapassorchard.org, RG, and all this schedule is laid out for everybody.
Right.
Perfect.
Now, Mitzi, you do a lot of this scheduling, and you were
I
saying
do.
you have scheduled all of these musicians.
We have 150 performances between now and October, end of October.
That's
so
quite
yeah.
a job to do all of
It is
that.
quite a job. It's a fun job, though.
It is to preserve the local music for the local audience. And so we've turned down some big names because we'd already scheduled some local groups.
Right.
So our focus isn't on selling tickets and making money. It is preserving the culture of the mountains.
Absolutely.
So where do you come up with all these people? How do you?
Well, it's a funny thing. You kind of draw them. Matter of fact, the guy that's coming up next, he just asked me about playing, so I'll give him a choice from the Roy Hill Center.
So people come to you.
A lot of times.
Great.
Yeah,
Neat.
yeah, it's
Well,
fun.
this sounds like an incredible facility. Tons of things coming up. So we've got the opening on May 3rd, fundraiser tomorrow.
Tomorrow night, all day tomorrow, but tomorrow night is our fundraiser at 6:30.
Perfect. And a full season, May to October. All right. Well, sounds great.
Thank you for
guys.
having us.
Of course.
Mile marker
absolutely.
321 on the Blue Ridge Parkway, right?
Right, mile marker
321.
321.
All right. Sounds great.
328.
Oh well.
328
328. Yeah.
328. You'll be close.
Perfect.
Keep going until you see the red building, and then come on down Orchard Road.
There you
Sounds
go.
good. Well, thank you guys so
Thank
much.
you.
And we will be back right after these messages with more of the Mountain Television Network.